Well, we now start connecting faith to business and life and church from the book of 2 Samuel. We just finished the 1 Samuel series over the past few weeks. And this first video is titled, It is Possible to Rebuild. When a business is torn apart through groups leaving, clients leaving, a church may split, unfortunately, it is possible to rebuild. And in chapter 5 verse 10, 2 Samuel chapter 5 verse 10, King David, after King Saul's death, had to rebuild the split nation. It had been split in two and they were like enemies to each other. They wouldn't talk to each other, they were actually fought against each other. So he developed a standing army, an army that was loyal to him and would go and do what he said would do. He established a capital where the Ark of God's covenant could be housed, where it hadn't been housed anywhere before. He laid plans to rebuild the temple, which his son would do later on. He conquered every army they faced, and he wrote more than 100 psalms. Now, that's not everything he did, but that's certainly a phenomenal amount of things. But he was able to bring the two nations back together to be one. And it is possible in our business to do it. It is possible in a church, in a ministry, and even in a family that is split. With God on your side and Him leading and directing, it is possible. And going back many years when I was working in the advertising agency, and I actually had to take over as managing director towards the end of the time I was there before I resigned to move and start Gloria Jeans with our partners. We had to rebuild the agency for a number of client losses and morale. And we set about by having a vision meeting with the key people, set about what's our vision, where do we want to go, what do we want to do, and what are the actions we need to achieve that. And we rebuilt that agency together with the 200 people in Sydney office to become a powerful agency that won every client it pitched for, kept every client that wanted to review at that point, and we had the lowest turnover of staff ratio than any other agency in the industry. So it is possible, but success comes with a warning, and God warned His people many times, if you disobey me and you take off in that direction, I'm not going to go with you. And Moses even said, if you don't go with us, we're not going. And that's what we need to have, that firm resolve in our own spirit. So here's a few warnings that come with success, because we all think that the issues are all over, the problems are all over. No, you've got to then watch out for the issues, and here they are. One of them is a belief it will always be this way, that we're going to be successful in everything we do, and we become complacent and we cast off restraint. Number 2, a tendency to lose focus. We don't need to have checkpoints or barometers on the journey of what we're doing, and is it working or not working, and are we caring for our people. The third thing is a drift away from discipline and accountability. Everything will be right, and this is where spending gets out of control. This is where people think, they're king of everything, and you have people fighting with each other for positioning. And then the last one, which is probably the most important one, is a warning, is we forget God. And God's people forgot Him. And Samuel had to face up to this. And you read that in 2 Samuel as well as in 1 Samuel. He had to face up with people going astray and warning them to come back on track again. So the real challenge here is don't forget God, because He's the one who birthed it. He's the one who's going to make it happen. He's the one who brings results.